Hello and welcome to my Galentine's Day 2019 video. Now, when Galentine's Day was created on the TV show Parks and Rec, the character Leslie Knope stated that it was a day for celebrating female friendship. And I've done some Galentine's Day videos in the past where I did focus on that, but for this year I just said, let's get anybody involved that wants to be involved, so here we go. Starting out with at Petty Crocker, that's and display name Petty Crocker. That's my buddy Jess, and Petty Crocker is her kind of new burlesque persona, which is very cool. She has something that she's been going for, and I really admire her for going after, expressing herself in the way that she wants to, and just, as they say, hashtag authentic, and she's just like a really interesting person, and I'm glad that we've got to know each other first online and then in person, which is cool. Happy Galentine's Day, Jess. Next up, we have Sarah at Sarah. I always say it's Sarah in my head when it comes up, at SRAH. It's so funny because we've been following each other for a really long time. I think it was when I went to Ann Arbor for a Michigan Notre Dame game, and I had some joke that she must have liked. And a fellow Midwesterner, and always cool to keep up on what she's doing, and definitely on the same wavelength as far as humor, I feel, and another great fan of Will Forte songs, as I am. Happy Galentine's Day, Sarah. Next up, Becky New Year at Biscuit of York. Becky is my super awesome podcast pal here in town, and she has a wonderful family of pets at her house that I've gotten to meet and hang out with. And she and her fiance Dave and I have gotten to go to some pretty cool comedy things together. She's just a beautiful person inside and out, and I'm so glad to be your friend, Becky. Happy Galentine's Day. Next up, we have Justin Partridge Hellblazer at J_Partridge III. Justin's a very creative and exciting writer, and he's someone that is interested in many different things in fandom, as they say, and I just think he's a really interesting person, and sometimes Twitter has these mix-ups and people leave, and that's if they leave and they come back and I don't know they've come back or whatever happens, but I'm glad to be following him again. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we became friends through The Best Show and being FOTs, which is cool. Next up, we have Chauncey Johnson. Justin, happy Galentine's Day. Even though you're not a gal, we're all welcome here in 2019. Next up is Chauncey Johnson at Fistigons. So first I have to say, I used to think that Fistigons was from a Rage Against the Machine lyric, but it's not. It's a comic book item from the Runaways. It's a weapon from the Runaways comic book. And it makes me think of like a kitty, those kitties that go pew, 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 pew. And I am always glad to see Chauncey on my timeline, and he always is, I really appreciate when you listen to my songs that I post, because I always feel like nobody really gets my music taste, but you do, and I really dig that about you. And I think of you as someone that, as many of my mutuals, the thing that I respect about my mutuals is how much you guys care about other people, and like there was this kind of quote, soundbite, whatever. It's, I can't teach you that it's important to care about other people, and I'm really glad that I'm mutuals with so many people that, are retweeting these, marginalized voices and what have you, and making sure that we're all in this together and we're all trying to get a better world for everybody. And just like a silly, funny person also. So you can be both. You don't have to be serious to care about other people, and that's great. Happy Galentine's Day. Next up is Kelsey at Chelatre, display name Chino Grigio, which is really fun, especially because she used to work in fashion clothing. Chino Grigio is just I love it. She's one of the best cat photographers that I follow, and I love always seeing her year-end roundup of the best pictures of her cats, Gordon and Cleo, as well as other cats that she visits or has stay with her. And also, Chelsea's always out there. That's Kelsey, excuse me. Speaking up for things that aren't right, and I appreciate seeing that stuff. Again, in addition to, liking podcasts and silly comedy things, and, there's space for both. And I hope things are going well in Canada and not too cold and snowy. Next, we have Melinda at Moinda. I think you're someone that's sort of private, and that's cool. And I just appreciate getting to know you to the amount that you're comfortable with. And something you might not know is that Melinda sent Grandma Hazel a postcard when she was in the nursing home. And I thought that was really sweet of her to do. And just always glad to see her thoughts come up on my timeline or over on Tumblr. A very funny person, but I think also a very kind and caring person, and a great lover of cats as well. So that was all that liked the original tweet, but I'm going to loop in a few more people that are adjacent to that tweet because it's my video. Talia at Talia Zoe _ she's a very inspiring person to me, and she has a cat named Alma, this beautiful calico, and she shared with me that her partner's from Pittsburgh, and so whenever they would watch the Pennsylvania sketches, she would get like almost a director commentary or the pop-up video of explaining the references, so it was like getting a bonus joke, so that was funny. Yeah. Talia is another really sharp, smart person, but can still also be silly and, loves podcasts, loves Womp It Up, and always glad to see her on my internet journeys. Happy Galentine's Day, Talia. Next is Matt from Halifax at Matt YHZZZ, and he's another FOT, friend of Tom from The Best Show. And I think he's a great dad, and he clearly loves to, spend time with his kids and raising them to be, good young, I feel bad, boys. Sometimes it's like if I don't know a person personally, it's a little bit weird to be like, oh, what are your kids up to? But I think he's like, spends a lot of time with them, and that's what it's all about. And probably the biggest Lego fan that I know. And I remember when I went to see the Lego movie Part 2 early, he had also gone, and I was like, okay, he's legit. Next is EJ Fedez at EJ Fedez. My big time CBB TV watching buddy, and also likes a lot of the deep cable sketch shows, niche comedy things that I like. So it's always fun to tweet with him on those during watching those shows. And we're also in a fake Rolling Stones tribute band called Kenotional Rescue. We play fake concerts in South Wisconsin and Northern Illinois. Very glad to be friends with EJ. And finally, we have Suzanne LB at Suzanne LB, and she's my good friend from Boston, and she has a cat named Minerva, aka Minners, and she's like a cool, independent, working lady, as I try to think of myself sometimes, and always great to see what she's doing. And I know she volunteers a lot with the ARL there in Boston, so I love to see the cats that are going to be going out to getting adopted to new families, and of course the pictures of her with Minners. So happy Galentine's Day, Susie, and keep doing the gym pictures and keep doing your yoga and all those good things. So thank you for everyone for watching the video, and as we customarily conclude with our shot of Calypso, he's got a little bit of a kitty cold, so but he's hanging in there, He was diagnosed as hard to kill, so he is a true Bob Duquette. Thank you to everybody for watching this video. Before I go, I just have a quick couple movie recommendations for Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. This is Next Stop Wonderland. This stars Hope Davis. It's from 1999, and it's just kind of a little indie rom-com, very enjoyable. Holland Taylor plays her mom. John Benjamin is in it. If you haven't seen The Big Sick, you should see that. Oscar-nominated original screenplay with Kumail and Emily that wrote it together. Ray Romano is in it. He's very good. And then if you want to learn about drag racing and Don Garlits, you should watch Close Calls. Mine is in the shrink wrap because I watched it with my dad, and he had his own copy that he opened and we watched, and he gave me my very own copy. Still in the shrink wrap. Great to watch. Recommend it. Happy Galentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day 2019. Thank you again, everyone.